Starting out. Leaving the parking lot. .12-mile round trip. Temps exceed 100 degrees. Minimum 1 gallon of water per person per day. No shade, no water. But it's only supposed to get to about 77 today. Up the trail got 2 miles longer. Now it's 14 miles round trip. I'm going to do the Marufo Vega Trail. This sign says 14 miles. One back there says 12. I was thinking it was closer to 14. The ore terminal trail follows an old aerial tramway line that went through here. There was a 6-mile long aerial tramway that crosses the Rio Grande, goes into Mexico. About half was in Texas and half was in Mexico to a cinnabar mine. So the first mile or so of this trail stays in this wash, which is kind of hard to walk in. Like walking in sand. Kind of neat, the banks of this draw is just rocks and sand in layers, been laid down. Looks like we're going to exit the wash. Hopefully that's the last of that for a while. And these dagger plants are blooming. It's really pretty. Okay, we're coming up on one of the aerial tram towers. You can see the wheels. And you can see the cable going off that way. So this thing ran for 6 miles. About 3 miles of it were across the Rio Grande in Mexico, where there was a mine, and they were mining cinnabar. And they would load it in cars and put it on this tram, and it would come over 3 miles across Rio Grande and then 3 miles into Texas. And it goes this way about another mile, and it ended at a dirt road where they brought down wagons with mules, and they would load the ore into those wagons and then take it to Marathon and put it on a train. And they did this from like 1910 to 1950. And cinnabar when you heat it, it gives off mercury. And they needed mercury for detonators, for bombs in World War I and World War II. So it was a valued commodity worth a lot of money then. So there's a lot of cinnabar mines in the Big Bend region. But that's what they were doing with it, sending it up, and making mercury and selling it to the army. Cable. There's a mean looking cactus right there. Got another lift tower. There's a trail junction. Our terminal's going to go left. We're going to turn right. Still climbing up the Marufo Vega Trail. There are a couple of options on this trail. We'll have to decide. Up here a little ways is a trail junction. And if we go to the right, it's a real steep climb. It's only about a quarter mile long, but it climbs several hundred feet. Or you can go left. They made a bypass around for horses, but it's a quarter mile longer. And then the next decision is when we get to where the loop actually starts. We can go counterclockwise or clockwise. I've gone back and forth on which way to go, but it'll be a decision when we get there. And this part of the trail, this is all quartz. I mean, just a giant piece of quartz. Trails right here, just quartz. You see a vein of it running through the rock. There's more going up that way. That is pretty cool. And it just keeps going. Looking back the way I came, if you look out there ways, you can see the green area. And that is the actual Rio Grande River. The river channel runs through that. And this is, I believe, the trail junction. So I think we've come 1.4 miles. You can go down this way. They built this for horses. It'll go down, I think goes all the way to the end of that ridge and then comes back up the other side. Or you can go straight up this thing. I'm thinking of coming down the horse trail tomorrow. I wanted to go up this. We just came up that. You can see the trailhead down there, the trail junction. So tomorrow if I come down the horse trail, I'll end up in the draw down there. And then you got to climb back up and then back down this section down there. But I'm thinking I can stay in the draw and go through. I don't know if you can make that out. That's a canyon right there. And on Google Earth, it looked passable. We'll find out tomorrow. Reach the top of one little section. Gonna traverse across here and then climb that last little saddle. And I think we're gonna drop again. and be on a plateau for a while. Well, this is the junction of the Marufo Vega Trail and the Straw House Trail, where the horse trail comes up and merges back in with the Marufo Vega. We came from up there. Looks like somebody cached some water or left some water here. Guess if you needed it, it'd be there. It says we've come 2.5 miles. It matches the map. I'm probably going to go down that way tomorrow. We're still going to go up. I believe up here we're going to turn and take the south fork of the Marufo Vega. It's going to go on the other side of this hill here, in between that one and the tall ones behind it. Well, we're fixing to find out. It's a little ways over to that junction. And then you got a choice. You can go clockwise or counterclockwise. So I'm going to do it counterclockwise. Mainly that puts me where I wanted to camp later in the day, whereas if I'd gone clockwise, I'd be passing it 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But this is zone camping, so as long as you're 100 feet off the trail, you can camp anywhere you want. So nice, there was water in there. It's lunchtime. It's 12:45. I made it to the junction, or you got to choose either go clockwise or counterclockwise. You can see that lizard. There's going to be pros and cons to each direction. And I had planned on going clockwise until early this week. Then I changed my mind to go counterclockwise. Now I'm still not sure. I think I'm going to go to the south first. Do it counterclockwise. I'm just not sure. I changed my mind. We're at the junction, so I'm going to go north first. It gets to the river quicker, but I think there's some steep down climbing that would probably be better going uphill, but once you get past it, I think after that everything's pretty easy. And I think there's going to be better camping on the south end of the loop. And I'll be getting there about the time I'm ready to camp. Where if I went south first, I would be getting there before it was time to camp. I believe this north section goes down a real narrow canyon. So those tall walls, the furthest back, all that's in Mexico. And that's part of Boquillas Canyon. We'll be, when we get down to the river, we'll be in Boquillas Canyon hiking up the river. This is called the Marufo Vega Trail. It was named after a rancher that used to live in this part of the world named Marufo Vega. And he raised goats in here. It's probably about the only thing that could live in this part of the world. Well, the canyon's starting to choke down. Yeah, I think we're fixing to do some pretty good down climbing here. Working our way down, we came to this little cave. Glad there's nothing living in there right now. Or I'm glad they're not home. Like I say, this trail is steep. Well, this is living up to its reputation. This is just one steep trail. Doesn't help that this rock is kind of slick too. It's hard on old knees. Ow. We started up there. Still got a ways to go. Short little break. I'm back out on the desert floor. Sun is intense. I'm not positive, but I'm hoping that green means river. Alright, we made it to the end of the north fork or north arm of the Marufo Vega Trail. And then it's 2 miles to the south fork, and this section in between is called the River Trail. And it's going to follow the river. Still haven't seen the river yet. Alright, there's the river. Walking along here should be relatively easy. Maybe some small ups and downs, but I think it just walks along this shelf above the river. This is interesting. We could get to the river that way, but trail's going to go up here. Rio Grande, and usually the Rio Grande is brown, dark brown. That's the greenest and the clearest I've ever seen it. Alright, I'm at the junction with the South Fork of the Marufo Vega Trail. It goes up this way, and it's either going to go out this notch or this one. And we'll get up there, probably start looking for a campsite. It's about 5 o'clock. We're climbing up from the river. It's been a pretty steep trail. We're up here at the bottom of these cliffs. I'm not sure, but I think the trail, I don't know if it goes to this little notch right here or over there. But I'm hoping we're going to reach the top here and then drop down and find some flat spots. I'm going to make camp. It's been a long day. I'm ready to stop. Well, I made it to the top of that climb. Looking back down it, probably be the last look of the river. Now we're going to head over this way. But I'm going to take the first flat spot I find and make camp. Unfortunately, it may be a while. We got a little bit more climbing to do. There's another view of the river, and I've been climbing pretty much from there to here non-stop. It's getting kind of late, and there's just nowhere around here to camp. It's a tent. The trail's still climbing. At some point it's got to start down and go head back. north. It's gonna have to happen quick because I don't have much left. Well, there's some great views of the Sierra del Carmen over in Mexico. Shot's Tower there in the middle. And this really should be our last look back down to the river. Still looking for a place to camp. It's just not many options up here. Well, we finally topped out. May see if I can scrape out a campsite somewhere up here on this ridge. It's not supposed to get windy, so should be okay. That looks promising. Maybe. There was one over there too. I mean, it's going to be solid rock wherever I go, but at least it looks fairly flat and big enough to get a tent in. But it is right on top of the ridge, so if it does get windy, alright, that's the one to beat. The trail is still climbing. I guess this ever ends. So I thought I might walk up there and look over and just see what I can see. And then maybe have dinner over there away from the tent. Hi, good morning. I'm just breaking down camp. It's about 7:30. It's not too cold this morning, about 42 degrees. Sun's coming up over the Sierra del Carmen mountains. Spent the night right here. Wind blew pretty good till about 11 o'clock and then it just stopped. And from then until this morning it was just absolutely calm and silent. There was no noise. But packing up, fixing to head on back down. Got about 5 miles back to the trailhead this morning. Well, it's about 8:15. Got everything packed up. Headed out. Back down to the trailhead and home today. A shot of the Rio Grande down there. And dropping back into this wash, which I hope is going to bring us to the junction of the North Fork. And I cached some water here yesterday, so at the junction, so I believe this is the junction with the North Fork. It goes right up that canyon there. So we're going to go down here and turn left at those stacks of rocks, but hopefully my water's still here. And it is. Great, we can have a drink. Well, we've completed the loop. And now we get to start climbing again. I'm back to the junction with the Straw House Trail. So 2.5 miles left, take a left, 2.5 miles back to the trailhead. But I'm going to take this Straw House Trail. It doubles back and joins in with the Marufo Vega Trail up here. I think it's 0.8 of a mile. It's like 0.2 of a mile longer than going on the official trail, but should cut out a little climbing. I guess they built this for horses because it's kind of steep coming up the front side over there. But this is a part of the trail I haven't been on, so something new. Little slot canyon. If you had a rope. Here's where the trail leaves this dry creek, begins to climb up and goes out over that over there. I'm going to stay in it, see if it's passable or not. And we'll run into the trail right on the other side. Looks like there's some rock cairns here, so apparently this is an option. It looks like we'll be able to make it through pretty easy. Cool layering there. This is sandstone, I believe. Down in that canyon now. Getting out of the sun, that was nice. Here's the shade. Looks like we made it through. We're going to be back in the sun. We're going to be 30 degrees warmer once we cross that line right there. All right, we've made it back. Back in the Jeep, got it running, got the air conditioner going. Had that much water left, but there's a little store about a mile away, so I'm gonna go get a Coke, Mountain Dew, water, ice cream. Whew. Had a great time. It's been on my list to do for 20 years or so, and just never made it over here till now, so glad to have it behind me.